Yahoo Sports Radio.
Powered by Silence. Available at your local King Soopers, Open Jug, Chinese Market, Circle K convenience stores, and 7-Eleven.
All right. Welcome back to another edition of the MMA Meltdown radio show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. You could be streaming us online on milehighsports.com. Your boy Matt Sierra, my boy Jay Mercules, Jared Mercado. Finally.
Man.
It's been forever.
I feel like it's been a couple months since I've been here.
Well, you had to live at the airport for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I slept over a couple nights. It was like that movie with Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
That was weird.
And then our very special guest host for the day, Nick Macias, who we'll be talking to a little bit later. But as always, we'll get started with the Inked Out Buzz Block with JR Gordon of MMABuzz.com. Hey, JR, what's going on?
Guys, how's everybody doing today? Welcome back, Jared. You guys there?
Yeah, Jared's just having issues. He's trying to put a chokehold on his microphone, so he's having withdrawal issues.
All right, well, I want to say hello to all the fight fans listening today and welcome everybody to the Inked Out Buzz Block. Our sponsor, Inked Out, is the Extreme Lifestyle Apparel Company for extreme lifestyle enthusiasts. You can check out the company's products at www.inkdout.net. Inked Out was Colorado's MMA Sponsor of the Year last year. They run the Hoodies for the Homeless program, and they train extreme MMA athletes. So be sure to check them out, show them some love, because they're showing love to us, thanks to Inked Out.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%.
All right, well, we are fully into Colorado's busiest MMA month this year, and it kicked off last night at the Red Lion Hotel in Denver when the Kickdown Fight promotion finished up their 10th year promoting fights with their Conquer event, and we're happy to present the Inked Out of the Night moments. Now, for the first time that I can remember, guys, oddly enough, there was not a single knockout or TKO during the fights. So we're going to start off, really kind of wild.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just watching the MMA Buzz updates on Facebook, and I just keep seeing submission one after another. I was like, what's crazy?
Yeah, and I think we were probably 6 or 7 fights in before we finally went to the judges. It was a 9-bout fight card, 5 title fights, and there was only 2 that went to the judges. It's a little late for those guys to be in on the voting for Show of the Year for this year because those ballots have already been turned in. But I tell you, the event last night put them in strong contention for what's coming up next year. Definitely a great show.
Yeah, it's awesome that they keep that rolling calendar going, so these guys will still be eligible for next year's awards.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's start it off with the Inked Out submission of the night, and that went to Nick Laney. He got his opponent down and took full mount, put himself into a topside triangle, and when his opponent Larry Williams tried to buck for a backdoor escape, Nick went rolling with it and went ahead and turned the triangle into an armbar and won the title with his submission. So congratulations to Nick Laney and the Infinite MMA team for once again getting submission of the night. And the Inked Out fight of the night goes to Garth Hess and Matt Cena. These two had a really back-and-forth, action-packed fight. And what probably helped these guys get fight of the night, because it was actually a pretty tough pick, was the fact that they both had super dominant positions at times, set in some really good-looking submission attempts, and you just didn't know which way it was going to go. So congratulations to those two for getting the Inked Out fight of the night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great show. So we're going to talk a little bit about Steve Alley and his promotions coming up in just a minute. But first we want to let fight fans know that next week you guys have 2 shows that you can choose from. First up is the Beatdown and the Rocky Mountain Bad Boys event, Rise of the Modern Day Gladiator. For this show, the fights are taking place at Red and Jerry's in Sheridan. Doors open at 6:30. Fights start at 7:30. Main event for this one, Henry Solis versus Ed Banks. Should be a great fight. And in the co-main event, Brian Marinick going to take on Michael Matthews. For tickets to this event, there's a couple numbers you can call, either or else 710-275-7972. Tickets also available at ticketswest.com or King Soopers. Let me give you guys those numbers one more time. 720-933-6147 or else 710-275-7972. Really cool thing going on with these fights right around the holiday season. The show is having a food and a toy drive at the door. So bring some canned goods, some non-perishable products, or some kids' toys with you, and you can help out some charitable causes. Great things that Beat Down and Rocky Mountain Bad Boys are doing, guys.
Yeah, I agree 100%, and I think anybody can really agree at this point in time with the economy the way that it is that any little bit of help helps out a bunch. So I definitely agree that if you can, take something down there and contribute to someone's holidays who definitely does need that. And speaking of those particular fights, JR, we're going to be giving away 2 pairs of tickets to the modern-day gladiator fights as well. So later on this show, we'll talk to some people who want to win those tickets as well.
That's going to be outstanding. So especially if you win some free tickets, guys, dig in a little deep, bring something to the show for the kids. All right, so we talked about Steve Alley's kickdown show that happened last night. He runs another promotion known as the Ultimate Fight Alliance, and the UFA is having their 6th show, which is also December 9th, and that's going to take place at the FaZe nightclub in Loveland. The Universal Fight Alliance sister promotion of the Kickdown Fight promotion, and for tickets to this event, you can call 720-422-5154. For this show, since it's a nightclub atmosphere, you can get in a little early. Doors open at 5:30. Fights begin at 7:30. One more time, that number you can call, 720-422-5154. And at this show, the main event is going to feature Darren Christopher, who's making his professional debut, versus Colorado fight veteran John Sargent. Kind of an interesting matchup here. Sargent has not put together a really long winning streak for quite some time in his career. He's got about 30 MMA bouts, so you know he wants to get back on track and keep his name relevant, so he's going to be pretty highly motivated in this fight. And he's going up against a guy that is making his professional debut, so you know that he wants to start off his professional career the right way. So he's going to be highly motivated. So good chance that this main event going to be pulling in Fight of the Night honors, guys.
Yeah, I mean, both of those situations for both of those fighters, it's important for them both to walk away with the W. So, you know, you can guarantee these guys are going to come out with guns a-blazing. It's going to be an interesting fight.
Absolutely. So, you know, if you're not in the Denver area, if you're a little farther up north, don't want to make the travel time down to Denver, then absolutely check out the Universal Fight Alliance. So that's what we got coming up for shows next week. So we're going to backtrack a little bit to Friday night because we've got some congratulations that are in order as the inked-out Colorado standout fighter, Mr. Brandon Ruckus Thatch, fought in Canada for the Instinct MMA 2 event, and he won by knockout. 15 seconds, guys. That's all it took him to get business done. Apparently his opponent opened up with a flying knee. Mr. Thatch put his always crisp striking on display and got the round 1 victory. So congratulations from MMA Meltdown and MMA Buzz to Mr. Thatch for leaving the country, putting the win together, and coming back representing the state great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the wrong guy to throw a flying knee against. No.
Different country, same result.
Well put, Matt. That's awesome. I like that.
Nice.
All right, so I want to say that in the same event, there was another Colorado fighter that competed. That was Mr. Anthony Alirez, and he did not have the same kind of success that Brandon Thatch did. He was caught by what was described in the online write-up as machine gun leg kicks, and he went down from the kicks, apparently took 1 or 2 punches, and lost by TKO, I think, in 105 of round number 1. So we'll just say head up to Mr. Alirez and hope that he comes back strong.
Yeah, machine gun leg kicks definitely does sound like there was a little bit of a creative juices flowing there. But
I know he had a teammate on that card as well, who Anselmo Gutierrez, who actually won too. He trains out of McSweeney's gym, so they did get one win there.
Right on. Well,
You see how
thanks for that,
Jared shows up, JR, and he just thinks he can start running stuff.
I got all this secret knowledge you guys don't know about.
Guy.
No, that's outstanding. Thanks, man. Yeah, apparently with Mr. Lirez's fight, he took like 4 or 5 kicks on the quad, and then he went to check a kick, and his description that I read on Facebook was, now I have an alien on my shin.
That's never good.
No, anybody that's spent any time training Muay Thai knows exactly of which he speaks, because that's a brutal thing to have happen.
Oh, yeah.
Oof, that's no good.
All right, well, something else coming up. Huge news for everybody in the MMA community coming up in 2012. This week, former UFC fighter Elliot Marshall announced that he and outstanding trainer Amal Easton going to be opening the Easton Training Center in the new year. Early reports stating that this is going to be a 10,000 square foot facility.
Yikes.
The training center is going to be located in Denver. It's going to have a full Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu program, full kickboxing program, full fitness program. And the quote that I read from Elliot stated, Amal Easton and I are going to blow up the Denver MMA scene.
I love it. You know, obviously I'm a member of Easton, so the one they got over on Broadway right now is a little small, so this new facility is going to be amazing.
It's just great to see gyms themselves. I mean, obviously the fighters are growing with their skill set, but it's nice to see that the gyms in Colorado are starting to grow right along with them. I mean, Muscle Farms, came in Colorado with their big gym. Now I'm sure Easton's is going to be top of the line, both in coaching staff and equipment.
I believe
it's great.
Factory X got a new gym a couple months back, right, Nick?
Yes, we did. I think it's about, it's probably right around 6,000 square feet.
Oh, my goodness.
And Factory X tied in with Performance MMA, so you need something, you forget your gear, something gets worn out, whatever. It's basically, for all intents and purposes, you got a pro shop right there. So pretty cool the way that MMA continues to grow. We keep calling it the fastest growing sport in the world. We keep talking about how Colorado is such a great place for it. And these guys are really putting themselves out there and making sure that continues to be the trend in the state.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy.
All right, well, one other thing I wanted to mention today, guys. I want to encourage all fighters, amateur or professional, that are listening today, check out www.mmameltdown.us and read our host, Matt Sierra's latest article regarding sponsorship. The article entails how to approach sponsors, what a fighter should be doing for their sponsors, and what sponsors are going to be expecting from athletes. Matt, as you referred to in your article, the days of saying, hey, I need a sponsor, I'll put your name on my shorts, and the sponsor's thinking that's a great thing, that's kind of gone. There's hundreds of guys asking them to do that. So I really enjoyed reading your article and you talking about what it is that you're going to have to do for sponsors so that they're even going to take a serious look at you.
Yeah, and I definitely appreciate that, JR. Yourself, Jared McCarto over here, Jason Lee, you guys have some great input, so I appreciate that as well. It's just something important for fighters to know, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's really something that's going to help fighters. The professionals, it's likely that they have a management team behind them that understands a lot of these things already, is helping them get some of this stuff accomplished.
Yeah.
But for the amateur fighters especially, Matt's article talks a little bit about how you're going to approach the sponsors and
all right, Jay.
take a look at you. So
sorry, buddy, we got to go.
I want to say we are Mile High Sports. Thanks for listening.
We've been over the river and through the woods a time or two. We are Mile High Sport. MMA Meltdown, powered by Zions. Available at your local King Soopers, Loaf and Jug, Jenny's Market, Circle K convenience stores, and 7-Eleven.
All right. Sorry about that exit, JR. Dude understands. Welcome back to the MMA Meltdown radio show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. Right now, we got a couple different things to talk about. I mean, obviously, Tough happened last night, the Tough finale.
Yeah, it was a great show, actually.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at the way Miller came in. At the end of this segment, we're actually going to call a young individual and reward him for his efforts and what he's doing. MMA Meltdown now working with today's youth, tomorrow's champions, which we're going to be working with at-risk youth. So we're going to call this kid a little bit later and hook him up with some stuff. What do you think, Nick?
I think it sounds great, man.
You're all in the lounge mode, just
Yep.
hanging out, watching the Bronco
Hanging out.
game.
Nick looks hungry.
I live hungry.
So the Ultimate Fighter finale last night, Jackson's MMA.
They represented.
I mean, John Dotson got knockout of the night. Andy won the contract. Diego, that dude's crazy.
Yeah, Diego got the fight of the night and the submission of the night, so he got an extra $80,000. So his life just got changed.
Absolutely. I mean, the entire, of what I didn't see every single of the preliminary ones, but of what I saw, I mean, the entire fight, Tony Ferguson looked sharp.
That was a good fight. The judging was a little questionable, I thought. Not necessarily the result, but the fact that they scored at 30-27 for Ferguson. I didn't think that was a clean sweep of the fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a really good fight. So I think either guy could have won that fight.
Yeah, the first round, I thought Tony Ferguson was just going to, just have it. We've seen Tony Ferguson when the UFC came here to Denver, and he looked sharp then.
Yeah.
He looked good last night in the first round, and then Yves Edwards just started coming out and
Yeah, he was
returning the favors.
Yves is a crafty veteran who's got some great striking, but Tony seems to hit really hard, as Joe Rogan said 500 times. So, yeah, he seemed to hurt Yves Edwards a couple times.
It was a great test for Tony. You interviewed Tony Ferguson once, right?
I did. He was a really nice guy, so I'm a fan now. And he's got a cool nickname, El Kakui.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either, but it's fun to say.
You know what that means, Nick?
No idea. It's a mystery, but
Chupe Cabre, is that the same thing?
Yeah, no one actually knows what it means.
I'm going to have to Google it. So, and then TJ Dillashaw and John Dotson. If you watch the season of Tough, then you kind of know that these guys unfortunately didn't get a chance to fight in the during the show's time frame, but it was a fight that everybody was looking forward to.
Yeah, Dillashaw tried to stay standing with Dotson, and he paid the price. I mean, I know it's not easy to get Dotson down. He's got great takedown defense, but he stayed in Dotson's world, and he got knocked out. So
He did the splits.
he did. He got put on the stinky leg.
It was a little bit of a quick stoppage, I thought, but he definitely was hurt.
So also during this show, we're going to be giving away some tickets, 3 sets of tickets, so 3 pairs of 2 tickets. Charles already called in. Congratulations to Charles. We got your information. We'll pass it on. You're going to the Rocky Mountain Bad Boys show come December 9th. We're also going to give away a pair of tickets during the last segment to the Ring of Fire Who's Next show, which is going to be huge considering the holiday season. But right now we have Ryan on the line. And, Ryan, you're going to walk away with the other pair of Rocky Mountain Bad Boys tickets for December 9th. How's that going to work out for you?
That'd be great, man. Thank you so much.
No problem.
What'd you think of the fights last night, Ryan?
They were awesome.
Were you disappointed in the way Miller showed up?
Yeah, it's because, I met Mayhem at 135, but, yeah, I'm disappointed. I'm a huge Mayhem fan.
You should have been running in place with him or something while you were talking to him. It might be your fault that he lost, buddy.
Yeah, he came out too hyper, man. He lost all of his energy during his walkouts.
Yeah, he
He
was.
was bouncing up and down and getting the crowd involved. I'm like, dude, save it for the cage.
The attempt was there. All right, Ryan, I got your information. We'll get your information here from the producer, and then we'll go ahead and have tickets waiting for you at Will Call. Thanks for the call.
Hey, no problem, man.
Yeah, and speaking of Jason Mayhem Miller's walkout, I wasn't sure if I was the only one caught it. I actually posted the picture on Facebook. Did you see that guy throwing up West Side, jumping up all crazy in the background?
I did not see
Did
that.
you see it?
I saw your post on Facebook.
It was crazy. Dude was just going nuts. Talking about the next fight, Diego Brandes and Dennis Bermudez, or
Dennis.
Dennis.
Yeah,
You
you're right
see
the
what it
first
going
time.
on? Man, going crazy over here.
I got you all nervous now ever since I made fun of you mispronouncing people's names.
I mispronounced my own name. I'm not tripping about that part of it. But Diego Brando and Dennis Bermudez.
That was a great fight.
It was a good fight.
Yeah, they
Man.
were back and forth. And then
Diego-
the ending was crazy because Bermudez dropped Diego, and then Diego pulled off that nasty armbar.
And Diego had dropped him, twice prior to that?
Did he?
Yeah, I think so. Twice, or was it once for sure?
At least once, yeah.
At least one time for sure. And then he might
Yeah,
have
they
hurt
were.
him.
They
He
were
might have rocked him a second time.
They were cracking. So
And
that
then
was
Diego goes down and then catches an armbar.
yeah,
You
broke his
serious?
arm.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Because I think he could have stopped. I mean, I think the ref got in there soon enough to avoid any
Yeah,
kind
it was a
of,
little.
serious
He
injury.
didn't let go right away, but what are you gonna do?
What can you do about it? What do you think?
He was excited, man. I mean, that's all he was talking about. That whole show was, changing his mom's life and buying her a house. And
Yeah.
he may have held on a little too long, but $80,000 probably buys a decent house in Brazil.
John Dodson got knockout of the night.
Who's that?
Dotson got knocked out of the season. 25 grand for that dude. Jackson's MMA, what are they doing up there that's so different?
They're just scrap down there.
I mean, John Jones is out of there. Rand Weathers, Kevin Kroom, Diego Sanchez.
Just a bunch of tough guys training with each other. You know, you train with good people, and you're going to be ready to go.
I think it's the fact it's in New Mexico. That place is.
There's nothing else to do there except train.
I don't even look at New Mexico as a possibility.
There's no temptation. There's no temptation to do anything there besides train.
It's crazy. I was interviewing Rand Weathers one time for a fight he had coming up, and he was walking out of this restaurant in New Mexico, and some dude actually tried to sell him crack while we were on the phone together.
Did he buy it?
Nah, I'm not going to say yes or no, but I'm pretty sure he didn't. But that's just New Mexico. You got the sand dunes out there, so I guess it's just their environment that drives them like that, huh?
Yeah, I would think.
And the level of competition there within the gym, I mean, it's kind of like Garage Factory X. You guys got just that high level of skill there that it's kind of hard not to pick that up.
They have dorms there, too. I mean, a lot of those guys live in the gym.
Yeah.
Talk about live. I live MMA, whole nother meaning to that. Yeah,
yeah.
A little bit. Man, you're killing me today, J. Mark. What'd you do today?
I'm just hyped up over the Broncos game.
Tryptophan before
I'm like a Tebow maniac now. I started going back to church since I started.
No, you didn't. You didn't go back to church.
Not yet, but I'm thinking about it.
Did you pray for a stand-up game?
Oh, come on.
Don't make fun. Don't crack on me about my lack of ability to pronounce names correctly, and then not expect me to get on you about your striking ability.
You don't know if I have striking or not.
I don't think
I take everyone
knows.
down. I just take
like,
everyone.
Where's Waldo?
I haven't had to show it.
Yeah.
I said, find someone who can stop me from picking them up and dropping them on their head.
That double
then we'll
leg,
see my striking.
This dude's crazy. So the main event last night, and up to that point, up to the main event, I was a little concerned that this fight wasn't going to live up to the remaining of the card because those lighter weights, they're more exciting, a lot more technique. I was actually worried about it. And to be honest with you, I mean, the concern was rightfully so. I mean, Jason Miller comes out and just dumps all of his adrenaline. Like Ryan said, maybe he just exerted too much energy trying to get people to clap along to his walkout music. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. I'll go ahead, Nick.
I don't know. That was a fairly tame walkout. I don't know if you've seen him fight in Dream, but he's usually got.
Plus, it's like the entrance was so short. You know, it's in a small little arena. He's gone like down these giant ramps before, so I don't think that was an actual. He's come out. He's done some crazy entrances before.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough because during this whole show you got two guys that just love to run their mouths so much, and you just expect to see a brawl, if anything.
Well, that's why people get caught up in the hype of it. Like, I mean, Bisping always talks about knocking people out. He's like, I've never even seen him like hurt anyone with punches. So I wouldn't expect he's always just kind of a technical, more of a point scoring puncher. And Miller doesn't even have really good striking. So I thought that people just hated Bisping so much. That's why they were picking Miller, but I didn't expect it to be that great of a fight. I thought Bisping's just a better overall fighter.
Yeah, I think cage rust was huge in this particular fight for Miller. You can talk all the talk you want to, but if you consume a lot of your time doing something like that radio or like that TV show.
Bully Beatdown.
Yeah, well, not only Bully Beatdown, but the Tough Series itself.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? It's just a situation where I think you should have been a little bit more focused on your training. I mean, if he had just a fight earlier this year at least, by all means, go nuts.
Yeah, I mean,
and 5 years? He hasn't been in the cage for 5 years, and he comes out?
No, he hasn't fought in the UFC in 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's fought a number of times outside. He's a very good fighter, but like I said, he just doesn't have the striking, I think, to compete with some of the higher end guys in the UFC.
Yeah, well, I think those kind of fights those kind of cards are definitely going to appeal to a lot of the newer fans that the UFC is trying to get a hold of. From top to bottom, people are trying to become involved in this sport, whether you're supporting it, whether you're training. I mean, Colorado, again, we're blessed enough to have a lot of different options. The youth is one of them. We have somebody on the line right now. Anthony is his name. And I think it's fair to say that a good percentage of fighters, both professional and amateur-wise, come up from a pretty rough background, had to overcome a lot of different stuff. And it's a pretty common theme, don't you think, Nick?
I think so. I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but it definitely seems to happen quite a bit.
Yeah, and Anthony, are you there, buddy?
What's up?
Anthony.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going up?
Man, just chilling with the family. Just got down watching the Bronco game.
Hanging out with the fam.
You a Tebow fan, Anthony?
Yeah.
Right. How could you not be?
You're an MMA fan, Anthony?
Yeah, I watched that too.
Man, so it's kind of a tough situation that you're in right now, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of different roadblocks, a lot of different ways that your life can go at this point.
Yes, sir.
And you're staying on track, huh? Sports, things like that are helping you out?
Yeah, playing basketball right now for my school.
Nice, nice. Well, those things definitely do help. It keeps you
I got some
in line.
basketball skills.
J. Merck, you're like 4'7". You can hold
Mike,
the
I
basketball.
got a really good crossover.
Yeah,
Nice.
this guy's
Yeah.
crazy. Anthony, you're gonna have to come school this dude. You think you could do that
Unlike-
for me?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Set it up.
dang, gangster. Gonna have to play horse.
He's
You
gonna
know,
reject my shot.
Anthony, just keep working away. We're gonna continue to work with you. We're gonna follow your progress. The better you do, the better we're gonna hook you up. As it stands right now, December 17th, Colorado's biggest MMA event, the Ring of Fire Who's Next show. It's gonna be huge. Our boy Nick Macias is the main event, gonna face Tyler Toner. You have a pair of those tickets, so you can go to that fight.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and then we're gonna hook you up too with some clothing line stuff as well. Maybe hook you up with, I don't know, maybe inked out American Ground and Pound, get you all set up, okay?
Hell yeah, I'll be down with that.
All right, nice. Keep working away, buddy. You definitely deserve it.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Anthony.
All right, bye.
I mean, it's just crazy. You know what I mean?
I have a question. When you started that call, did you say what's going up?
I said, what's up?
I think you said what's going up.
I did say what's going
You
up.
did,
What's
yeah.
going on?
My excitement level is what's going up. See how he is?
My energy level after the science drinker.
I thought it was a new thing. I thought
It is,
we
it
were
is.
gonna start
It's
saying
what's-
Inventing
what's
new
going up?
phrases over here.
That's gang related. Like my boy Lamumba. What up?
What's going up?
You're killing me, Small. You have nothing positive to say to me ever.
You tried to attack me earlier,
Next
so
time,
now it's on.
next time
Prison rules now.
See how you are? I know Mexican judo. You might be all about the Eastons and whatnot, but you don't want none of this stuff. You can't even drink your water. What do you think about this guy, Nick? Comes
Okay.
back from Jersey. Hollywood's the show for 2 weeks. Doesn't even come in. Calls in. Nick's here. Nick's the main event in the Ring of Fire show later this month, and he's in-house. Where you been the last 2 weeks, J. Merck?
I was eating a lot.
See how he is?
I mean, it's 2 hours out of your Sunday, right?
Yeah, that's a big time. I got a lot of stuff doing. I got a lot of people wanting to hang out with me. I got to
guy.
break plans for you every week.
For me?
Yeah.
This is the betterment of our show. Our good friend, Facebook update here, Robert Martinez wants to know why you cheated and gave him a right hook to the body the other day.
Who's that?
Robert Martinez.
I don't think I've ever punched anyone in the body.
I don't think you've punched anybody, period.
Yeah. I don't even punch in sparring. I just shoot.
Yeah, you got to stick with what works, huh, Nick?
I guess. I mean, sooner or later, I think we'll see it.
Man, you can
We'll
tell
see.
Nick's cutting weight, buddy. We got to get you going.
Yeah.
You got
Someone feed this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm eating plenty, man. It's just, I don't know,
What are you eating? Rice cakes?
You want to smell Jared's breath?
Yeah.
I don't think I want to do that.
It seems to where it motivates him.
I had a couple cheeseburgers before I came in here. That's not even a lie. I had Matt pull into Burger King.
This guy,
Really,
he's prima donna.
gotta have the Whopper.
I made him pay for it too.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, right. Get out of here with that. So the Tough finale was a fantastic success in my eyes. Next season, the Tough is going to be live, so that'll be different. John Dotson was out here the last Ring of Fire when he was out here with his teammate Kevin Kroom, and he couldn't talk about the situation. All he really said is that he made it deep. So it's awesome that they have that time to train before the big show, but it's also going to be awesome to be able to see these guys live leading up to the show itself.
Absolutely.
You going to try to get on that Tough at one point, J-Merc?
Yeah. If they bring back the lightweights again, I'll definitely try for. I don't really want to be on the house, but it's a means to an end, so I'll do whatever.
You're sleeping on the couch right now, buddy. I think you'll be all right. You're going to have this big old house, and you don't want to get in the house?
No way. Would you want to hang out with 16 dudes for 6 weeks? No TV, no access to the outside world?
It's 13 weeks now.
Oh,
Sounds
forget
like my
that.
kind of party. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to have our boy Vinny Lopez fighting December 9th. You are tuned in to the MMA Meltdown radio show here on Mile High Sports.
Yes, Virginia, there is a Tim Tebow. We are Mile High Sports. MMA Meltdown, powered by Zions. Available at your local King Supers, Loaf & Jug, Jenny's Market, Circle K convenience stores, and 7-Eleven.
And we're back. Welcome back to the MMA Meltdown radio show here on Mile High Sports AM 1510 FM 93.7. Matt Sierra along with my boy Jay Merck.
What
My
up?
boy Nick Macias.
What's going up?
Here live.
Nick's trying to wake up over here.
I'm working on it.
Getting that Zion's pumped into his bloodstream.
Little caffeine.
Little IV drip is what we need to get going. Our next guest, somebody I've been looking forward to talking to all week. You know him, you're a teammate of his, right?
My main man.
Vinny Lopez. What's up, Vinny?
Uh-oh.
Vinny, you there?
Big looking us?
This is Charles.
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 Yeah.
What up, Charles?
What's going on, Charles?
What's that?
Charles, what is it you want to talk about, buddy? What's going on? You're on the MMA Meltdown radio show.
I don't know. I called in because someone said I won some tickets.
Oh, snap. You want some tickets?
I think so, yeah.
You going to take me?
How many tickets do I get?
Oh, what do you mean?
If he gets 100 tickets, he'll take you.
Nice. I'm not in that close circle to get tickets.
Yeah, you sure are.
All right. You want 2 tickets to the Rocky Mountain Bad Boy show here on December 9th.
Oh, that's cool.
That'll work out. Leave you. What's your last? We'll get your last name. We'll get your information. All right, Charles.
Is this Matt?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Blaze.
Blaze.
What's going on, Blaze?
Nothing. You know me.
Is that your World of Warcraft name?
Blaze be throwing the tattoos down. That's what it is. Oh. Yeah, Blaze. We'll get your information, buddy, and then we'll throw you some tickets, and we'll have them waiting for you at will call. Okay?
All right, cool.
Thanks for calling in, Blaze. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, Vinny. Let's try it again. Vinny, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh man,
They tried to pull a fast one on us,
you
Vinny.
Hollywooded us, bro.
Yeah. So Vinny's big leaguing us over here.
Cut week doesn't mean cut us out of the scene, bro.
I know, man. I'm out of it right now.
See, I was at Grudge. What was it, 2-3 weeks ago, Vinny? And I was asking him the last time he came on the MMA Meltdown show. You know what he said to me?
What's that?
I've never even been on the show.
It was a really great memory for him, apparently.
So Vinny's where he should be at this point in time. Vinny, you're fighting Ryan Peak, huh?
Yeah.
Tough fight coming for you December 9th. Cage of Fury, Rocky Mountain Bad Boys event at Red and Jerry's. What are you expecting from this kid?
I'm expecting him to come out aggressive. He's a boxer, so he's probably got some good hands and stuff. But I'm prepared. Me and my coaches have went over some tapes, and I feel confident that whatever he does do is not going to be enough.
You're ready for it, huh? I like that. Vinny says we went over some tapes. How many guests have we had in here where we ask them how they study their opponents?
They're like, I don't like watching.
I don't like watching film. That's for the NFL. Good job, Vinny. Good job, buddy.
So are you, I guess you can't go into too much detail about what your game plan is, but are you looking in general to kind of keep it more of a striking match and or kind of take him out of his area of comfort and get it to the ground and maybe use some of those jiu-jitsu skills you've been building up?
I'm just going to let the fight happen. You know what I mean? I'm not going to force it anywhere. I'm confident in wherever the fight goes, and I'm just going to let the fight happen. Just go with the flow and just feel it out, see what he wants to do, and then I'll make some decisions.
Now, Vinny, you're coming off a Ring of Fire defeat. How important is this fight to you to get a victory?
It's very important. It's very important. It's very important for me to just fight well, just to go out there and perform. I haven't been able to perform as of late. It's important for me to just get out there and do what I do every day. You know what I mean? Just get comfortable and really just perform well into those lights.
What kind of steps have you taken to make sure that you're going to be able to perform in the cage like you're saying you do every day?
We've done a little mental training. I train with the best every day. You know what I mean? At Grudge Training Center. I'm challenged every day by some of the best in the world. So my confidence is there. I just, did a little bit of mental training this camp, and again, I'm just confident and ready to perform for you guys.
I know one of the changes you made is going up in weight. This fight is at 185. Is that correct?
It is.
So how do you? I mean, that must be nice, especially now that you're, it's cut week, but it's got to be a little easier on the body rather than making that drop all the way down to 170. So how do you feel at this new weight?
Oh my God, I feel 100 times better. It's like night and day. Trying to make that cut to 170 was pretty brutal on my body. Definitely not the smartest decision on my part. And coming back up to 185, I feel stronger here, faster here, and definitely the cut week is not nearly as bad.
Absolutely. Was that a decision that you made on your own, or is that something you and your coaches kind of talked about and thought it would be better for you?
Definitely, it was a group thing. Any big decisions like that, I definitely go talk to my coaches and some of my teammates about it. It was definitely not just me. It was a suggestion by the coaches, and I thought about it for a while and felt it out, and felt good to put some weight back on, and it was a group thing.
Absolutely. Now, Vinny, anyone that knows you or follows you on Facebook knows that you're a man of pretty strong faith. Pretty devoted to your religion, everything like that. With you coming off a couple tough losses, how big of a factor has your faith been in keeping you positive and being able to keep your confidence and just keep training hard?
Whoa, getting religious on him.
You know what? It means everything. That right there, my faith it keeps me grounded, and my trust in God's plan has been everything. Those losses for me, they were tough. They were tough to chew on. You know what I mean? But I trust in God's plan, and I know that I needed to learn some things. As far as the fight game and just life in general. So I know that each one of those had a purpose for me, and I'm where I need to be right now. You know what I mean? With my faith and with fighting. Again, I just trust in God's plan, and I know that in the end it's all going to come out to where it needs to.
Vin, we've kind of talked about a couple different facets of your style. Your training, your faith. But how big is your support system? Because the reality of it is you got one of the most loyal and biggest fan bases of maybe any local fighter here in Colorado. I mean, you got people who come out in drones to see you fight. You got, again, your coaches, your teammates, your family, your friends. How big is that for you right now? I mean, even, again, with the rough road you've had so far.
Oh, man, it's big. It's big. I mean, I'm amazed every fight, There's people that come out that I don't even know, but as far as, like, my close support system and the people who are behind me 100%, I couldn't be happier. I mean, I've been blessed to just have the friends and the family that I have that no matter what, win, lose, draw, whatever, if I decided to go work at 7-Eleven, they'd come to that store and buy shit from me. You know what I mean? No matter what happens in my life, I got a big-time support system, and that's comforting, man. You know what I mean? Because that's definitely, I don't know, just I've been blessed. Let's just leave it at that,
Now, obviously, no fighter out there kind of wants to stay at the level that they compete at last. Are there things that you've done outside of your comfort level to maybe elevate your game coming into this fight?
Absolutely. I've my wrestling has never been great, but this camp and even the last camp, I've been in with Leister Bowling. He's one of the best wrestling coaches in MMA.
Yeah, Leister's the man.
I mean, I've been with him twice a week, passionately for I don't know how long, and he managed to turn wrestling for me into something that I love to do. Like, I look forward to my wrestling practices more than any other practice around, and that's just given me a comfort to open up in other areas. You know what I mean? The wrestling has just made my striking that much better because I know, I'm not always worried about a takedown right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest problems is when guys can't let their hands go because they have that fear of being taken down. So
Exactly, and Leister's helped me definitely get rid of that. Like, it's just opened up a whole new realm of possibilities. So that's definitely one thing that I've done, probably the most that I've just attacked. You know what I mean?
absolutely. So Vinny, have you kind of set a game plan for the New Year's coming up in terms of how many times you want to fight, or staying in state, or what are your long-term plans with the sport?
I'm going to stay busy. I already have another fight scheduled in January, and so long as my health allows it, I'm gonna stay busy.
Is that another Colorado fight?
It is.
Nice. Are you able to tell us what that is?
It's Fight to Win.
Oh, nice.
Fight to Win show, yeah.
Awesome.
That Fight to Win show is going to be crazy.
That'll be cool.
Paramount
Yeah,
one,
the
right?
Paramount. That's a pretty unique little venue there.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, man, I plan on 5, 6, maybe 7. I plan on keep going. I got to get busy, and I got to race. I got to put these L's as a distant memory. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I have no doubt you will. I know you also. Do you kind of have your own like personal training business?
I do.
Yeah.
It's called Vital Training Systems. I train out of 2 different gyms, a gym off of Broadway and Isles, and obviously the Grudge Training Center. I got got a pretty nice client base, and it's getting bigger and better every day. And it's keeping me afloat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. The
MMA game is rough.
the fight career is not the most lucrative job in the world, so you got to
definitely not. And you know, I'm blessed to be able to stay in the gym. You know what I'm saying? And still put food on the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Vinny, we definitely appreciate your time that you're taking during your rest week. Is there any sponsors or anybody you wanted to thank?
You know what? I don't got a whole lot of sponsors these days, but they'll be back. BBJ Cleaning and Everybody Loves Wireless.
Nice. All right, Vinny, man. Good luck to you. We'll see you down there December 9th, and best of luck to you, bro.
Thanks, man.
Later, Vinny.
Later, guys.
Yeah, Vinny, Colorado fan favorite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he talks about, the L's that he wants to get behind him, and yeah, he's had a rough time with his record so far, but the reality is he's a really nice guy.
He's a nice guy. He's got a great skill set. I mean, if I see that guy train he's got a tremendous work ethic, but his hands are great. He's got really, really good boxing, and I think, he'll get the win here, and I think that'll be huge for him, and people will start seeing, his complete skill set. And as he mentioned, he's been working with Leister Bowling, Alvin Robinson on his jiu-jitsu, so I think 2012 will be a big year for Vinny.
Now, you both you and Nick come out of gyms that have an exceptional amount of talent. How long does it take? I mean, say I go in there with a certain skill set. How long is it going to take me to go in there before I start competing at the level that my peers are at?
I think a lot of that depends on where you're at with that certain skill set. I think we see a lot of guys, like Jared, who come in with a really, really strong wrestling game. And, it just kind of takes that off the plate. They can really focus on other aspects of MMA. And I think it makes it easier, honestly, when you have a really strong skill set like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always going to vary by, each individual person, one, how consistent they are with their training, how quickly they pick up on stuff, how good of an athlete they are. So, that's why it's important to get with a good gym, good coaches who know how to build a fighter up and are not going to rush a fighter into something that they're not prepared for. But it's hard to put a specific timetable on something, but I'd always recommend fighters to not rush into anything. I'd start out just training, start doing some grappling tournaments, fight amateur kickboxing, boxing, MMA, then finally ease your way into MMA.
Because you see a lot of it, and maybe not so much as a couple years ago, but you do see a lot of fighters traveling from gym to gym just to work with a particular coach or to gain a particular skill set, and it's maybe 2 weeks that they're there, and you really kind of think, how much could you have learned in that time frame?
Yeah, I think you need a home base that you're kind of sticking with. You need people who know your strengths and weaknesses and can really take the time to build those up. And I think the guys that you see doing really well in Colorado have those coaches. Grudge with Trevor Whitman, Factory X with Mark Montoya. Team Wildman with Thomas Denny. They have these guys who know how to build a fighter up. So, jumping from gym to gym, I don't think that's really going to help you. I think it's always good to train with different people, but you need your core team to really stick with all the time.
So really, if you're going to take
Mauricio Zingano, another guy who's a great leader and coach. So
you got them all.
Yeah. Hold on, give me 10 more minutes. I didn't want to leave anyone out.
I think pretty much what you're saying is that if you're pretty much just starting your career, it's not a great idea to jump around from gym to gym. But if you're an established fighter, you already have that really strong skill set, like you're saying, Nick. Then it's all right at that point in time to be able to go into a specialty gym and try to work on something different. Yeah,
definitely. Like I said, it's always good to train with different people. Like I've gone down to Factory X. I haven't been there for a while because Nick's always fighting guys from my team. But
you guys got all the good guys in my weight class. What
like
am I
street
do?
gangs over here.
But so I definitely recommend sticking with one team for the most part.
All right. Well, congratulations to Ryan and Charles. You guys again are going to the fights on December 9th, the Rocky Mountain Bad Boys show over there at Red and Jerry's. Great show still coming up here. We got James McSweeney coming up next. Then we got my boy Nick Macias. After that, we're going to get to some UFC and some predictions maybe. But we still have the Ring of Fire tickets that we're going to give away. And if you want to win those, it'll be during that last segment where we're going to have some trivia. So, Nick, think of something good because we're going to be using you as the crutch. But you are tuned in to the MMA Meltdown radio show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7.
MMA Meltdown, powered by Zions. Available at your local King Soopers, Loaf and Jug, Jenny's Market, Circle K convenience stores, and 7-Eleven.
All right. Welcome back to the MMA Meltdown show here on Mile High Sports AM 1510 FM 93.7. Been a good show so far.
It has.
Lightened up some
You sound surprised.
saved some people some money. Got some extra
there we
coin
go.
in their pocket, giving some tickets away.
Nice.
I think what we might actually do too, since Nick is here, is the person whoever wins the Ring of Fire tickets, maybe we'll throw in a fight book.
Nice.
But it's got to be a good trivia question, Nick. That's your work for the day. I mean, you're in here with your snow.
You got to come up with one better than I did. I gave like the most obscure question to someone, and they had no chance of getting it right. So Nick's got to come up with something good here.
Yeah, it's like how many leg locks has so-and-so ever had in their professional MMA career. But continuing
It's a trick question because the person never fought MMA.
Nice. Continuing the great show. Our next guest is no surprise to MMA Meltdown. He's been on the show a couple times before. Big fight down under. What's going on, James McSweeney?
I'm good, thank you. How you doing, guys?
Good. You back from Canada yet?
Yeah, I just got back late last night, and then I had to go straight to the gym and train, and then I just finished wrestling practice now, and then I train again tonight. But I leave tomorrow about 5 o'clock for Australia.
Yeah, I follow you on Twitter. You went to the gym at like midnight to get in some boxing work, huh?
Yeah, I finished about 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I got up this morning. I wrestling at about 1 o'clock, and then I have boxing again today at 11 tonight.
Jeez.
So get it done before I go, you know.
Jared goes to the gym at midnight too, but it's for his romantic rendezvous. So it's a little bit of different motivation for him, I think.
Whatever floats your boat, mate.
Nice. So how was Canada? How was the fights there? You were there with a couple different fighters from Colorado, huh?
Well, I cornered 4 guys.
Wow.
2 of them were mine. The other 2 guys that were there were they were friends of a friend that I had, and they had no corner man to corner them. So they asked me if I would corner them, so I helped them out and cornered them. So I had a real busy night. I had 4 fighters, and every fight was like 1 fight in between each one. So
Jeez.
I was pretty much constant the whole night and doing it on my own. So it was a busy time for me. But yeah, we was very good. One of my guys, Anselmo Gutierrez, he made his pro debut. He had a devastating knockout. He knocked the guy out in like 30 seconds, I think, and it was one of those real bad knockouts where the guy's hands just dropped and he hit the floor head first. And then I had Anthony Gutierrez, Alvarez, and he actually lost fights due to leg kicks. He took too many leg kicks, and he dropped to 1 knee, and the referee jumped in and stopped the fight. But it was a good show. Instinct, too, they had a great lineup, and there was a lot of good fighters there, and it's a nice production. So it was just a long way away. We had to fly to Montreal, and then like a 3-hour drive to Quebec, and it was just a very long journey.
Now, obviously, you can't just turn people down, especially when it's a situation that somebody doesn't have a corner. But how impactful is all this traveling and all this assisting other people to your career?
Well, I'm kind of used to it. I mean, it didn't affect my training at all because usually I take Saturday and Sundays off. So as you saw last night, I got straight back and I trained last night, today, and I'll be training tomorrow as well before I leave for Australia. So I just took the 2 days that I was away as my days off, and I was at the hotel, and I did my strength conditioning at the hotel. I used the sauna to help when I cut to help the guys cut weight. I cut some weight when I was there as well. So I used it productively. I wasn't eating any junk, and so I just used those as my 2 days off. It wasn't too bad for me. Obviously, traveling is always a bit of a pain, but to be honest, I have passion for my guys, and I wasn't going to let them go out there on their own, so
Nice.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, let's talk about your training. This past year, you started your own gym, Sledgehammer. How's that been going there?
Well, the gym's doing really well. I mean, in December already right now, I've got 16 fighters out to fight in December. So
Wow.
we've got a good fight team. I've got a fight team of like 26 or something right now, and the membership side of the gym is doing very well. I'm surprised how many people have come forward, and there's already a lot of great gyms in Denver, but just to add in a new variety to the weed providers, just give an extra avenue that's maybe is not provided before. I mean, there's not much Thai boxing in Denver, to be honest. Especially being a European style to Denver is just not here. So maybe I brought an extra flavor to the area, and we've been really busy. So it's been really cool. And for my personal side of training, it's really helped me out having extra guys to spar with, bringing extra people in are already members of my gym that are just very good wrestlers, good jiu-jitsu guys, and they've taken my side of training to a whole new level because usually I have to fly in training partners or fly somewhere to go and train with people, and whereas now I've got them on my doorstep. It's been brilliant.
Nice. Now, you mentioned a little bit earlier, you're going to go down to Melbourne, Australia, and you're going to be the main event against Doug Viney or Vini. How do you say that?
Yeah, Viney is how it's said. Yeah, he's an ex-K1 fighter. He used to be an Olympic boxer. He used to be a super heavyweight from New Zealand, and then he used to fight in the K1 as well as a heavyweight. And now this is his debut pro fight as an MMA guy. He's been fighting jiu-jitsu in Brazil apparently. I don't know if he's done Vale Tudo or if he's been doing jiu-jitsu tournaments, but this is actually his debut MMA. But he called me out, which, to be honest, I didn't know whether to take it as an insult or as a compliment. I wasn't too sure, but either way, the fight's been set and it's been done, and it took, he doesn't realize yet because he's never fought an MMA fight, but MMA and K1 are very different, and it took me, I'm still adjusting now, and it's nearly my 4th year in MMA, so I'm not going out there to fight him as a K1 fighter, I'm going out there to fight him as an MMA fighter.
So when you made your transition, obviously you still remember holes in your game. Are you going to expect those same type of holes in his game, and are you going to do anything to kind of plan for those?
Oh, there'd definitely be huge holes in his game. There's holes in his game as a K1 fighter because, to be honest, he's not my level in K1. So I know for a fact he's not going to be my level in MMA. So he would never have lasted around with me in K1. So he's never fought anybody that's the level that I was fighting at when I was in K1. So I have no doubts that my striking's far better than his. But yet again, this isn't a K1 fight. So there's a lot of different things, like your level changes have to be completely different, defending takedowns. He can do as many jiu-jitsu tournaments as he wants, but this isn't jiu-jitsu either. So I've met a lot of good jiu-jitsu guys that have never fought MMA before, and then as soon as you start throwing strikes in there, they have a problem on the ground as well. So I don't believe that he's going to be ready for what's going to come, and I'm going to expose him every chance I get.
Yeah, let's talk about your progression as an MMA fighter. I mean, you have the world-class kickboxing background, but what's that progression been like, and what do you think like the most difficult part for you has been in terms of learning the different aspects of MMA?
Well, to be honest, I was unprepared physically because I had some very bad injuries. That I broke my back years ago in K1, and I wasn't really fully aware of the situation. But the first 2 years when I was in the UFC, I couldn't wrestle. I was just doing wrestling drills. I couldn't actually active wrestle. I couldn't do full strength and conditioning because my back was so bad. I would train one conditioning circuit, and then the next day I'd be laid up for 3 days. So I was really just getting through my level, which is probably why I made some mistakes when I was in my early stage of my career. But now I've got a very, very good chiropractor that I see 3 days a week. I have an amazing strength and conditioning coach. And if you see my physique today than it was in The Ultimate Fighter, I'm a completely different person, So I feel I'm complete again. And I can actually wrestle now. I wrestle full out with Division I guys. I'm doing jiu-jitsu with strikes on the ground under numerous different black belts. And I believe that I'm training much more complete now. And, I feel 100%.
Yeah, you also fought at heavyweight in the UFC. How do you feel at 205? Do you think that's ultimately the best weight for you?
Oh, it's definitely the best weight for me. I mean, I was 222 pounds when I was in Ultimate Fighter House.
Jeez.
I'm 228 pounds today, and I fight light heavy. So I was always a light heavyweight, but I was just, the opportunity came up to go to the Ultimate Fighter House as a heavyweight.
Right.
I took the opportunity, and I thought to myself, well, if I get through the house, then I deserve to be there. And I made it through the house, and I won my fights, and obviously they kept me on. But as soon as I won my fight and the house was finished, I wanted to be a 205er, and then I was told that really I wasn't allowed to be because I made it through. Then they made me fight Spoonova at heavyweight. And when I knocked out Darryl, he was 265, and I was like 227. They said, see, you can make it as a heavyweight, and then they gave me another heavyweight fighter who was a real heavyweight, and I went into that fight with I didn't train for like 2 weeks before the fight. I had a very bad neck injury, and that wasn't an excuse of why I lost. I just made a mistake, and I got caught. And then they put me to a 205, and then I felt much more comfortable. And then, unfortunately, during that fight, in the second round, I broke 2 ribs. And then obviously it was changed. But now I feel I'm stronger now than I ever was when I was a heavyweight. So even when I did K1, this was my weight, you know.
Right.
So I feel so much comfortable this way. I'm faster. I feel stronger, and yeah, I love being 205. I'm never going to go back to heavyweight.
Have you talked to Joe Silva or anyone from the UFC in terms of how many wins you need to get back there or anything like that?
Well, to be honest, we always keep in contact with everybody and stay in contact. But it's not right now. I made a stupid mistake in my last fight, and I got caught in a choke. So I lost my last fight in Las Vegas, which was yet again just a learning curve. I never got touched the whole fight. I was winning the whole fight, the first round, and we kind of both stumbled and fell, and he landed on my back. I defended the choke, and he adjusted and he got me. So I'm in no rush to get back into the UFC right now. I feel that I don't want to make the mistake that I made 18 months ago and just get to the UFC to say you're there.
Right.
The next time I go back, I'm only 31, so I feel that this next year, 2012, is going to be a good year for me. I've just signed with a new management company, Integrated Media, and they're very good. I've got a full team behind me in my new gym, and I'm going to pick my fights. I'm going to make sure that I go undefeated in 2012. And then at the end of that year, then we'll make the call and hope to get back in. I've always kept in good contact with the UFC, and they've always been great with me and treated me very well. So I don't believe that when we go back there and we get the confidence where I need it to be, I don't think there'll be any problems going back into the UFC. I'm just not in no rush right now.
Right.
Now, James, again, you're going to Australia. You're planning on being very active. Are you going to be more likely to take fights just wherever you can get them, no matter what the country is, or are you going to try to stay a little bit more focused where you may be able to gain a little bit more exposure given the fact that they're in the United States?
I don't really care about exposure, to be honest. I mean, this is my 8th fight this year.
Wow.
So I've already been very active. So next year, I don't choose to be as active as I've been this year. I just feel that I understand the game a lot better. Wherever the fights get offered, so like in Australia, they're very good television coverage. They're a great show. They treat you very well. They pay very good money, and I've got a deal with them. So if they want me to go back next year, which I know they do for 3 fights, then I'll go. So I don't need to stay in America to keep my level up or people to know who I am. I'm not in this industry for recognition. I'm in this industry to do what I love and provide for my family and make sure. And if fame or people recognition comes with that, then that's great. But that's not my only goal, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, James. Well, we definitely appreciate you taking time. Again, you're a super busy guy, and we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule here to talk to us, and best of luck.
Oh, thank you very much. No problem at all, and I was ready to be on.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
You as well. Man, James McSweeney, very busy dude, very busy guy. I mean, hotels, airports, and he has to fit in workouts wherever he can. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a very dedicated guy, and from everything I've heard, he's a great coach as well. All of the guys out of his gym and Michelle Blaylock have all spoken very highly of him. So
yeah, I use the shake weight in the car just to keep my cardio going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Nick's over here cracking up. All right, so it's been a great show. You are tuned into the MMA Meltdown radio show here on Mile High Sports AM 1510 FM 93.7 or streaming us online at milehighsports.com.
MMA Meltdown, powered by Zions. Available at your local King Soopers, Loaf and Jug, Jenny's Market, Circle K convenience stores, and 7-Eleven.
Yeah. We gotta turn the bass up on this one. Check it. Since 1516, minds attacked and overseen. Now call them the ruins of this empty dream. With their borders and boots on top of us, pulling out on the floor.
Radio show.
Yeah. Some Rage Against the Machine. I'm feeling
crazy.
angry now.
You're always angry. Welcome back to the MMA Meltdown radio show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510 FM 93.7.
That song got me ready to go join Occupy Denver.
I'm going to go to Curves if you want to go to Curves after this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you got your membership card. I don't want to hear nothing.
Occupy Curves.
Nice. See? Nick Lacis is going crazy over here.
It's for 75-year-old women, and I demand that I be let in.
Yeesh. Man, I don't even know. I knew you had the whole thing for cougars and whatnot, but that's Curves might be a little bit.
They have issues.
Oh my God. You're in the wrong pools, my friend. Oh, man. Nick Macias,
What's up?
you've been a little silent over there the whole show.
Yeah, this is typically my nap time. I'm usually laid out on the couch.
When you're on a
eating
200
food.
calorie a day diet,
Oh, I
you don't
bet,
feel like
right?
speaking too much.
Oh,
Man.
He had his rice cake this morning, a pear for lunch.
See, I don't think him smelling your breath is gonna help. It's gonna make him more hungry.
I'm gonna go to Taffolino's after this.
Nice. You want to go to Taffolino's and watch us eat, Nick?
Yeah, I'll watch you eat the whole burrito at Taffolino's.
Can you drink margaritas, or is that too close to fight time?
Too many calories in a margarita?
Yeah, they're kind of sweet, sugary.
Yeah.
You know.
Want just the alcohol?
Yeah, just some straight booze.
Can I get a margarita? Hold the margarita mix.
Just the tequila.
No salt, no ice, and put it in a smaller cup.
Moving on.
Moving on.
You killed that joke.
Man, you're so bad. Dang. You know, I go home and hate myself for a good 2 hours after doing a show with you.
He's a cutter.
He's a cutter.
Wow, this show's risky today.
It's a little brutal. Nick Macias fighting Tyler the Thunder Toner. Main event, Ring of Fire 42. Who's next?
I'm so angry at Nick right now. He
You're
keeps
jealous?
fighting my teammates. I want to root for him, but then he keeps fighting my teammates. I got to root against him.
I'm done after this.
All right.
No
good.
more?
Yeah, after this.
How do
we'll
you
be good.
control that?
I don't know yet, but I'm working on it.
Next, he's going to fight Alvin Robinson.
List goes on and on. You guys got so much talent in those gyms again, and it's just kind of hard for you guys not to be fighting each other's teammates. But again, so you're fighting Tyler Toner, obviously a tough individual, well recognized in Colorado, has a solid chin.
UFC veteran.
UFC vet. What are you expecting from the kid?
All out war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he doesn't quit ever. You know, I mean, all his losses are decisions, which, you know, if you have a decision loss, that means you're in there battling the whole time. You maybe didn't come out on top, but you didn't quit either. And, I mean, especially in his last fight, you know, to come back after the first 2 rounds that he had and just gut it out and win that fight. And, two, you know, I've watched video on him, and you see people knock him down, and he just pops right back up unaffected. So, yeah, I'm expecting quite a battle.
See, it's good. Another fighter who watches videos on
There
his
it is.
opponent. So are you expecting to utilize that knowledge you gained through watching his videos and kind of maybe jump on him, smother him a little bit to not give him time to pop right back up? I mean, I'm not trying to get you to go over your whole game plan.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think pressure is going to be a big part of the fight.
Yeah.
Period. You know, he's got a lot of control as a fighter. He paces himself really well. He's not one of those crazy guys that just comes out and mobs you, which is, you know, that'll actually be appreciated because that drives me nuts. That's hard to deal with.
But you're on a nice little streak of your own, aren't you? What, 4 wins now in a row?
Yep, 4 in a row. 4 in a row. Gonna
Wow.
keep it going.
That 4 wins, that number 4 is more punches than you've thrown in your entire professional MMA career, Jared.
Yeah, thrown punches, landed punches, doesn't matter.
So he's doubling your numbers.
Yeah.
How big is it for you to be the main event of Ring of Fire? I mean, obviously one of Colorado's, if not Colorado's biggest promotion.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. You know, I mean, Ring of Fire seems like they're not doing as many shows as they used to, but they are still widely recognized as you know, the leading promotion, and I think a lot of that's got to do with the same lines that they're kind of marketing this event along. Is, you know, they've had so many guys going to the big show off of their promotion that I mean, it's hard to argue with that. You know
Well,
what
you've
I mean?
seen what the commercial for this promotion during the Tough finale.
Which doesn't
Yeah.
have my name on it.
It doesn't
Yeah,
have-
what was up with that?
Dang.
And they got I like the commercial, but the guy's voice was real creepy at the end. Who's next?
Nice.
What's up with that?
Like he's looking at you through your front
Yeah, I
room
was like,
window.
Whoa, what? Sound like the guy from Scream.
Nice.
I was like, what? What's your favorite scary movie?
So we were talking during break, Nick, and you got this approach that you're going to come towards, because Jared doesn't have a nickname either. We've been throwing some back and forth.
I'm telling you, bravado. It rhymes.
Bravado. That's going to confuse me. I'm not even going to say the
Let's
two
stick
names.
to your
Bravado
nickname.
Mikado.
Yeah, you still can't say it.
See what I mean? But Lightning? You're going to go with Lightning?
Yep. Yeah. It all comes from a conversation that I think it was Chris Camozzi and Chase Hackett and I were having in the gym about, you know, just picking a nickname that competes with or beats your opponent's nickname, and just taking the mental edge right there. So you know, we had Tyler Thunder Toner in this fight, so we went with Lightning because, you know, I mean, you don't really get hit by thunder, but lightning will kill you.
Are you saying Tyler's not going to be able to hit you?
No, he's gonna hit me. I've accepted that. That's definitely gonna happen. He's a great striker, so I'm gonna get punched in my face.
So where are you? What do you think your advantages are in this fight? What where you see a strength that you have that maybe he has a weakness? What do you think is your key to victory?
I don't really know. But I mean, I think there's a definite difference in our physiques. I think like just physical strength is gonna play a big role in the fight. Kind of no matter where it goes. Obviously, I think strength is probably a bigger advantage against a cage or on the mat. So. And I don't think I've ever had a fight stay off the mat. They always end up there one way or the other. So that could happen. Somebody could get cut open. Somebody could fall down. Who knows, man?
How nice would it be to finish this fight early? Because I think we can all agree that if you let Toner stick around towards the later rounds, and it's increasing his chances to win.
Yeah, his gas tank's awesome. It's awesome. And, I don't know. I've done the 15-minute thing several times. It's overrated. I'd love to see it end early, but you can't really count on something like that with an opponent of Tyler's caliber.
One of your main training partners is Joe Warren, who the title or phrase world class kind of gets thrown around a lot, but he's a world champion in wrestling. How do you think that has impacted your skill set, and can we expect to see you looking for takedowns yourself?
Well, all puns aside, let's not sell Joe short.
You guys are talking like you're 6'2", 6'3". Jay Merck's like, what are you?
I wear my platform shoes. I get up to like 5'8".
You're legally a short person.
But he's also a world champ in Bellator at 145.
That's yeah.
So he's fully legit, and training with him is, you can't argue that it's hugely beneficial, but it also is miserable. He's got one speed, and that's full throttle. He just opens it up, and I think a lot of people dislike training with him just because he will hurt you.
Yeah.
You got to be on your toes with him, but it's been awesome to have somebody that competes in my weight class and is not afraid to just get down and dirty with it, and doesn't get his feelings hurt. And yeah, it's definitely helpful to have somebody that's just a brute like that.
Yeah, and you mentioned the strength factor. We talked earlier, and you said you get pretty heavy in between fights. I mean, have you is that something where you think in most fights you have that strength advantage and you kind of use it to help you out in the fights?
Yeah, I'm not small for the weight class. I've been able to definitely muscle my way out of some situations, which is I think that's a huge advantage when you're dealing with people who may be more skilled in certain areas. My last fight with Josh Ford, there's no arguing that he's a better grappler than I am, but I think my physical strength kind of helped me survive in that fight and avoid some of his nasty jiu-jitsu.
What are some of the things? I mean, MMA is a realistic environment where you have to be real with where you're going to be at, what your career is like, where do you stand, skill set wise. What are some of the things that you guys talk about in terms of where your career is going to go?
Well, I try and listen when people talk to me, and we had a guy who was out for a while.
I don't listen to people.
Interrupting.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
right?
Nate. Go ahead.
No, we had a guy named Lou Polly out training with us for a while, who's a coach on Tough, and one of the things he said was, you win enough fights, and everything else just takes care of itself. So really, that's all I'm looking at. Like, I mean, I've been trying to find fights out of state for, probably my last 3 or 4 fights, and it gets so complicated with people paying for travel. It's like maybe they will pay for travel, but your purse isn't going to be worth the time, or they'll pay for gas. They want you to drive 1,200 miles, and it's like,
Is there a specific reason behind wanting to fight out of state, like for exposure, or just to not deal with the pressure of fighting in front of friends and family, selling tickets, everything like that, or?
Well, that's a pain for sure, but I mean, mostly, I'm kind of running out of guys. You know what I mean? Seth Daniels, Fight to Win, told me after my last win that, there's 3 fights that make sense for me: Cameron Dollar, Tyler Toner, and Alvin Robinson. Well, I train with Cameron on and off, and he's a great training partner. So that one's out for the time being. I mean, we both said we'd fight each other if the payday was right, but doesn't make sense for peanuts. And so that was kind of the one big thing. But exposure is a big part of it too. You want to get your name out there. You want to get more people recognizing you and seeing your name pop up places, because even with my current win streak, I don't think I'm even really a highly recognizable fight in Colorado because we've got so much talent and so many people in the big show.
And up to this point in time, have you been handling setting up your own fights? Has your gym manager been helping you out there? Are you at that point where it's time for you to get a management?
Yeah, I'm actually working with a guy now. I haven't signed with him officially. You know, it's kind of just let's get through this fight. If you like the way everything runs, then we'll sign a contract after. But that's Brian Hamper at Blue Chip Management, and you know, it's nice because I've toyed with the management thing before, and some of those people just don't work. You know,
They don't work out, or they just don't work.
They just don't work. They don't put a lot of effort out into helping you. So, you know, so far everything's been really great. You know, he's been lining up sponsors and you know, he's getting everything printed, and I'm on a website, so that's cool. We're going big.
You know you're official when you're on a website.
Right, like our boy Chase Hackett.
Yeah, he got his own website. When do you get your own website?
I don't even want my own website if it looks like that thing.
Let's, you know, you mentioned Chase. Let's talk about your gym. You know, you guys seem to have a very close relationship. I've never seen people tweet each other as much as the Factory X guys.
And they're in the same gym while they're tweeting each other.
Yeah, they're next to each other.
Well, the advantage in that is, you know, you can sting somebody through a text, but the whole world doesn't get to see it. So it's a little less amusing.
But no, you know, let's talk about that gym. You know, Mark Montoya is the coach. Like, how does that team atmosphere, you know, benefit you as opposed to maybe going to like a larger gym where it's a little less family-like?
Well, you know, I mean, ultimately the goal of Factory X is to get bigger and bring more people in. But, you know, kind of the mindset is quality over quantity right now. So we don't concern ourselves so much with getting big numbers, but anybody that comes in, we want them there, you know, and we want that commitment. And I've said it before, like I might not have made it at Factory X as an amateur because I just didn't have the work ethic.
Right.
You know, and I mean, that's reflected in my amateur record even. But, you know, we require the same thing. If you want on the fight team, you're there 6 days a week. You know, if you don't have a fight, we'll take 5, but you better be there 6 days a week most of the time. And a lot of people don't want to make that commitment. But, you know, it's nice because when somebody does make that commitment, you know you've got somebody there that's quality. You've got a training partner. You know, you may not have the numbers or the bodies, but, you know, I mean, Fridays are awesome there. On our sparring day, we get people from all over the place that just drop in and we all beat each other up.
Let's talk about, you know, you said your work ethic wasn't there as an amateur. When did that kind of switch in your career where you decided, all right, I'm you know, committing to this with everything I have?
Kind of just when the turning pro thing came up, you know, I said, well, if we're going to do this, we're going to need to work a little harder. You know, these losses are unacceptable. You know, they're going to start counting. So, you know, I got to work. I buckled down, and there's a paycheck involved. You know, come on.
Yeah, paychecks are important.
Want that win bonus, baby.
Well, Nick, you're with us for one more segment. Appreciate you hanging out here this whole time.
Rage Against the Machine's back on.
I hope you got your trivia question, because coming up on the last segment, we're going to talk about UFC 140. We're going to give away tickets to the Ring of Fire Who's Next show coming up. It's going to be a great last segment. I'm excited for Mr. Cookie Breath over here to give his picks, because usually he's wrong.
Oh, get out of here.
See how it is? You like that?
We'll go head to head.
That's how I like it right there, boy. What? Yeah, right. So you are turned into. See how you are, buddy? Man. You're listening to the MMA Meltdown radio show on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7.
MMA Meltdown, powered by Science. Available at your local King Soopers, Loaf and Jug, Jenny's Market, Circle K convenience stores, and 7-Eleven.
All right, we are back. Last segment of the show. My boy Nick Macias got some trivia ready. We're going to talk some UFC, and we're going to give some Ring of Fire tickets away. What do you think we should do first?
Let's do the trivia.
Let's do the trivia. We got a caller on the line. Who we got?
Yeah, we've got Mike.
Mike! What's going on, Mike?
Hey, what's up, MMA Meltdown?
Look
How
at
the hell
Mike.
are you?
Look at that. I like your energy, guy.
Hey, basically, I just called in, and at first, before we do any type of trivia, because I like really blow when it comes to trivia, but I'll give it a shot.
Hey,
but what I really
Google.
wanted to do was give MMA Meltdown on a couple of shout-outs. I love what you guys have really done for the sport. I mean, and bringing it here local, about the magnitude that you guys have really done it. Because I really didn't get involved with the MMA until I learned about MMA Meltdown.
Nice.
So I've learned a lot from you guys. Basically anything that I want to know about MMA, I go to your website, or I just straight up listen to you guys.
You're my new best friend, Jared. Scoot over.
And I really love what you guys do in the community. I know you guys have been out at a couple of fundraising activities. I remember you were doing a pretty big one down in Fort Collins a few months ago. That was really awesome. What you guys do for the vets, I see you guys at different events, and so you do the banners and do fundraisers. I think you teamed up with American Ground and Pound once. That was awesome. So just what you guys are doing, don't change it. Continue to keep getting and bigger and better, and I love it. And my last thing, what you guys are doing with today's youth, tomorrow's champions, that is just great. I came from a very mixed background when I was a kid, and I didn't have them type of programs. I mean, and I'm sure they were out there, but just not like they're out there now. And with the MMA, how big it's getting, I mean, it's just awesome that you guys are pulling in the youth and giving them the opportunity to make themselves better. So thank you all around.
We appreciate that, buddy.
That's awesome.
Let's see if you can win some tickets. Nick, give him the question.
All right, so here's the deal. Our jiu-jitsu coach down at Factory X is J.J. Pugsley. He's got his black belt under Dean Lister. Who was Dean Lister's last opponent in the UFC? And here's your big hint. He just fought for the middleweight title.
Gee.
Against Anderson Silva. Remember Anderson Silva's last fight? Did you happen to see that one?
You know what? Anderson Silva. No, I didn't. I told you.
All right, Mike. Well, appreciate your honesty. Hey, if you got Google and you can figure it out and nobody else has won, give us a call back later in the segment and we'll hook you up.
Hey, that sounds good.
All right,
but thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Mike.
Bye.
Nice, Jared. See all the good work you're doing, man. It's getting appreciated.
That's right. I was going to ask him who his favorite host was.
Oh, see how you are? It's you. I think everybody likes you more.
Yeah.
You got the eyes going.
You know.
Speaking of you, good
I
question.
Poked them on. I friend our listeners and then poke them on Facebook.
That's too much. You killed it.
Mike, you got a poke coming.
Men poking men.
That was a good question, Nick. It was a good trivia question. It started off very complicated, but then the hints kind of cleared everything up. So UFC 140 is coming up. John Jones, Lyoto Machida. Going to be a banger. Exciting fight. I mean, I'm going John Jones. You know, what do you think about the match, Jay Merck?
Yeah, you know, at this point, John Jones looks pretty unbeatable. The funny thing is, though, is when Machida won the title, remember Joe Rogan was like, this is the beginning of the Machida era. And everyone was like, oh, my God, who can beat this guy? You know, and then his next fight, it was like a pretty controversial decision. And then his next fight after that, again against Shogun, he got knocked out. So we still have a lot to learn about John Jones. This was a fight I thought was the best matchup at the time because I think Lyoto, presents some unique style matchups where, other guys can't. He's quick. He's a very elusive striker, kind of jumps in and out very quickly and gets away before you can hit him. He's got good judo trips, and he's also a black belt on the ground. So it'll be interesting. John Jones still has that huge reach advantage. He's got the awesome wrestling.
Man, he utilizes that so well, too.
Yeah,
and it translates into power because he just wraps everybody up, and the
throws
are ridiculous.
And each time, he's always seeming like he's refining his game. And,
yeah.
That last fight against Rampage, he threw every type of kick in the book at him, including those front kicks to the knee, which just looks so painful.
The jab kick.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really hard to see someone beating John Jones at this point. One thing we don't know, we still haven't seen him take too many hard shots. Some clean shots. So that's the X factor. How well can someone take a punch? And I don't know if Lyoto's the guy to do that because he's not a huge power puncher, but he does have the timing and the accuracy. So I'm excited for this fight, but based on John Jones's physical abilities and just the fact that he keeps improving each fight, I still favor him in this fight.
What you think, Nick?
Oh yeah, I'm going with Jones. He's such a physical specimen. I mean, you just don't run into a lot of people even at that weight class with the 7-foot reach. And and he's pretty technical. I think it's actually going to make for a better fight than we've seen him in, just because Lyoto really understands range.
Yeah.
Something about his karate background. which may help him deal with that reach. But I still think Jones is going to be too much for him.
I think it's a tougher fight than Rampage was for him, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So Frank Mir, Minotauro Nogueira, part deuce.
Yeah, I think it goes fairly similar to the first fight. You know,
Really?
of course, Nogueira was saying he had staph infection and everything, but I agree with Frank Mir. It wasn't staph infection that won that fight. It was punches to the jaw that kept knocking Nogueira down. So I think Nogueira, would struggle to get it to the ground, and I think Mir just is a little better striker. So I think he wins this fight again.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's by knockout, but I think he wins the striking aspect.
Mir
of it.
has a 6 submission game too. I mean,
He does, but I don't see him submitting Nogueira. I mean, Nogueira is, phenomenal on the ground.
We shall see. What say you, Nick?
As uncontroversial as it is, I think I got to agree. I think Nogueira's, he's still a great fighter, but I think maybe his toughest days where he could just take that beating for 3 rounds those might be behind him. And Mir's been showing up lately, and now that he's kind of lost interest in Lesnar and his weird little obsession there, he's probably fairly focused for this fight.
Well, you are tuned into the MMA Meltdown radio show here on Mile High Sports AM 1510 FM 93.7. If you have a lot of kinks, sores, not have sores, but if you're sore, yeah,
Might need to see someone else besides who you're about to say.
a lot of abuse in the gym or just life, go check out Studio Vienna at Shred a New Look. Best massage therapy you can get right next to Wits End at 6050 West 92nd Avenue. Hit up Bettina.
I think I need to go hit her
She
up
does.
because, man, I think I pulled a muscle in my back training.
You just didn't want to stand up and get the remote. You had to turn around and just try to reach it instead of being,
I got short arms, so
You do have short arms.
I need to get up to reach things.
Nick Macias. Do something with this guy, please, Nick. Do something. All right. So another good fight. Tito Ortiz. Antonio Nogueira.
Yeah, I mean, Tito Ortiz's best days are behind him, so I have to go with Little Nog on this one. Nogueira hasn't been great in his UFC performances, in most of them anyway, but I still favor him over here in this fight. Ortiz is kind of a faded fighter. He'll get outstruck, and he's, his ground game's not bad actually. He shows some decent skills there, but Nogueira's again a pretty high level black belt, so I can't see him beating Nogueira.
I think I'm gonna go with Tito just because I got to disagree at some point. But
what's his path to victory?
His path to victory is just abuse. He's gonna pin him up against the cage, old school, vintage Tito. Put him up against the cage and just elbow him, possibly to a decision. But I don't think Nogueira's on the same level that Rashad is, and so I don't think he'll do what Rashad did to him. And quite frankly, Tito, he's one of those guys who's been around forever, but he's still come off some impressive wins. I mean,
yeah, that Ryan Bader fight was awesome. I certainly didn't see that one coming either. So I think he proved a lot of people wrong there. Maybe he does have something left in the tank, but he had a lot of wear and tear on his body. But
he's been through his ups and downs. For a long time, he was, one of the best fighters in the UFC, and then he went on a 5-year losing streak. Comes back, tries to reinvent himself. Goes through a little skirmish with Matt Mitrione at the UFC Fight Summit thing in Vegas.
I did not even know about that.
You didn't see that?
I didn't.
They made a nice little comment about Mitrione made a nice little comment about Tito's, is it ex-wife? They still together?
I think they're still together.
Current wife, whatever she may be, and there was knuckling up time. I don't think anything ever came of it. But I'm going to go with Tito.
Okay.
I think Tito, like Nick is going to say, he's going to get him up against the cage, maybe do some dirty boxing. I don't think it's going to go to decision at all because I can see Tito kind of leaving himself out there for a submission by Nog. But it's going to be an interesting fight. Those 3 fights right there, I mean, that may be potentially.
We're creating words now on this show.
Philosophically, methodically, systematically, the best 3 fights of the night. I mean, obviously for obvious reasons. But Ion, the fights are going to be on the preliminary cards are going to be on Ion now.
Are they? Man, they got fights going on all types of networks now.
What?
Fuel. I don't even have Fuel TV.
Fuel, Spike, Ion, Fox, versus.
Yeah, FX. I'm serious.
I think that's where Tough is going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the live series of Tough, so it's gonna be nuts.
I'm gonna have to upgrade my cable package.
Where are we gonna go watch the fights?
Oh.
You renting them? Renting
Which
them.
fights?
Jeez.
Oh.
The fights we're just talking about. Big guy.
I thought you were talking about after we leave today.
You see what I got to deal with every Sunday, Nick?
Yeah.
This is what happens when you get punched in the head.
And I pulled over to pick this dude up on the side of the road today, and this is the kind of stuff that I get
I'll
from him.
hitchhiking here.
Did he have the Burger King in hand already, or did you actually?
I told you I made him pull into the Burger King.
This guy says make like he has some pull. You know what I mean?
He's
Put
over
out or get out in my car, my friend.
He's sweating you from the passenger seat.
I know, he was mean mugging me. I had to look down at him to
I
get there.
threatened to double leg him because you know I wasn't going to punch him.
So, all in all, 2011 UFC, what kind of grade do you give the promotion?
There were some good fights. You know, I think one thing that a lot of people say is because they're putting on so many cards that some of the cards get watered down a bit. And for $55 or however much a pay-per-view is, you know, I think sometimes they can give you a little more for your money.
Little bang for your buck?
Yeah. So, I'm a diehard though, so I watch every fight and I enjoy most of them. But yeah, I'd like to see them. Well, it's not going to happen because now they're going to have even more fights. But I'd like see them load up a couple cards, you know, where it's just like really stacked.
In terms of talent or amount of fights?
In terms of talent, you know, like give us a couple title fights or just, you know, some really meaningful fights. You know, I hate when there's a main event and then the co-main event's kind of like, all right, it doesn't really do anything for the division or, you know, something like that. So I'd still give it a B+.
You're only saying that because you want to be in the UFC one day.
If that was the case, I'd be like A+.
A+.
Yeah, I don't think Dana White's listening right now.
He might be. You just heard the guy saying all the great stuff that MMA Meltdown is doing for the sport.
Maybe that was
maybe
that was Dana White.
He was disguising his voice. Man, nobody called back to win the tickets. Are you serious? No one called back. Google. Nick, read the question off again just so people can listen. This is Ring of Fire tickets during December, weeks before Christmas. You're telling me you wouldn't rather use that, what's that, $50 value? $50 value? You could buy an RC car. You could buy 2 Snuggies and a pillow pet.
Wow.
For 50 chunks.
I don't even know what that last thing is.
A pillow pet.
You don't know what a pillow pet is?
No, man.
You don't have any kids, do you?
No, sir.
It's a pet.
You don't have any kids either, and you know what it is.
I have a 7-year-old son. Talking about. And he's got a pillow pet and a Snuggie. Say something.
You have your own pillow pet?
I do. It's the unicorn one. Have you seen those stompies?
I don't know what you're talking
See,
about
guys,
now.
You're on another level. And what are you talking about? You shop in the kids section, the Baby Gap, Jared.
Oh.
This guy.
Wow.
Always talking stuff. I don't know.
I'm done with you. You're cut off.
I think all in all, the free UFC fights were great. I give the free UFC fights an A.
Yeah, it was brilliant that they put the fights on Facebook. I think they're really taking advantage of social media, and I took advantage of it. You know, I still think a lot of people aren't even watching the Facebook fights, but I watch them all, so I thought that was really cool.
I think as a company, they stepped their game up. This year they got insurance.
Yeah.
They had the summit. They gave out Twitter bonuses. I mean, they're actually...
The Ultimate Fighter bonus now for on the show where the fans can vote on it.
They're making the money, but they sure are sharing
No, I mean,
the
they
money
treat
too.
their fighters pretty well. You know, I know people complain about the fight purses, and, you know, I think they've steadily increased that. But, you know, overall, yeah, the fighter insurance, what other promotion does that, you know? So
It's definitely a situation where you don't see a lot of people giving insurance to fighters, given the fact that it's a very violent sport.
But yeah, they said, you know, I'm sure it's not easy to get coverage for people who beat each other up for a living.
So next week, I've decided we're all going to go to the Fox and Hound and watch the fights at the Fox and Hound. Jay Merrick, you're picking me up. Me and my family, so bring the minivan. Nick, you're more than welcome.
Not my Vespa.
Do you got the sidecar?
I don't, but I should add one.
How do you ride the Vespa? You still got the foot things?
Little kickstart?
Yeah. How do you do that?
I'll show
I
you.
don't know. It's been a great show. James McSweeney, Nick Macias, Vinny Lopez gave away some tickets. It's been a good show. Nick, appreciate you coming on, being a part of it.
Yep, thanks for having me.
We're tuned in to the MMA Meltdown radio show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7.
December 17th at 2 p.m.